Hello and welcome back to Comfycozyup. So I'm starting this video with this quilted book sleeve that I made, and as you can see I had it open. So this is me just sewing the sides. That's all I did here. And then I have the lining for inside, and I left an opening to the side that when I sew the top I have a way of flipping this inside out. So this is just how it looks inside before the lining is put in and sewed on. So after I sewed the lining and the outside together, I had to cut off the excess seam allowance that I had because I did not want the top to be bulky. So that's all I did here. And then of course I'm going to be flipping it inside out so that the lining can go inside. But before I can finish the top, I am going to actually sew the lining opening that I left out. And it's pretty much simple. Sometimes you can just hand stitch it, but in this case I put it on the machine and just sewed the lining pocket that I left open. Then I just put it inside so you can see. You won't get to see all that pattern that was inside. And next step is basically to even it out to make sure the lining is not shown from the outside. So I use this pin to keep it intact, and then I just top stitched it, and that was it. That was the very much a quick, easy book sleeve. I've never made one before, so this was actually fun. And you can see it is a big size, so you can make different sizes, but this one is big. As you can see, this huge hardcover book fit in, and I actually had room on top. So I think next time I make it, I may take off a ½ inch, but other than that, this was a fun project. Oh, we did a little mini take of what I've been doing this week. So I did not sew anything, but I did work on another quilting project, which is a book sleeve. And as you can see, it is so beautiful. I love that I was able to try out different patterns, different scraps that I had, and come up with this pattern. If you can see, the front and the back are completely different. I'm enjoying the art form of quilting. And there are so many different techniques and so many different things. It is an old art form, and I think it's something that it just makes my mind think, because I'm not doing well with this weather. Today's the first day that I'm seeing sun, and so a lot of times I like to sit down and relax and do some form of art. And this year I am absolutely falling in love with quilting. So this is what I made, and of course I'll just show you the inside where the book is that I will be talking about in a few minutes. And you can see it is black inside. I had the top stitch here. I did some form of design of on the side. You can see the black embroidery sewing machine, and it has the batten in, so it's nice and fluffy. It's huge because I can definitely fit more than one stuff like when I want to, but you know, because this book is big, and for it to fit and still have a little bit of room, I can't be mad about that. I created my own pattern, and this is what the pattern looks like. And I think next time I do it, I might take off like ½ inch, because I do feel like it's a little long. But then again, it might serve its purpose, because I think, you know, I'll be able to grip it because of that extra room on top. And this is what I'm going to keep, and then maybe make some that are smaller because for other things. But I'm so proud of myself. I sat down and said, let's do this. It is simple, but you can see the lining where I put the seam allowance, and I calculated to where it can fit, but it's a big one. So yeah, I also went to the library, and so, you know, trying to learn new things. This is embroidery where you can do, and I was watching a video and just watching this person just making these things, and I was just like, I want to learn. So I picked up this book from the library. I also pick up more quilting, and this is for smaller project, and there is a bag that is made exactly like this. They just put like where up top would be a drawstring. And so I was looking at it, and that's where I got the motivation at first, like, oh, let me try this. And I love this. You can do all kind of small projects, kitchenware. I do need to make some pot holders because the ones I have are looking a little raggedy. And so I'm considering doing that and working on some pot holder. So when I do get to that, I will show you. There's hats, there's different kind of fabric. It's such a great art form that I am like literally loving it, and seeing how many different things that comes out of quilting that you don't even think about. So this was nice. And then of course I got a bigger book so that I can think about when I start making my comforter. I want to make one for my bed so bad, but I think because it's going to be such a long project for me, and I just want to try other things before I get to that. I love this other style of patchwork. So this is where you cut the fabric out and then you sew it on the fabric. And it's just such an interesting way of doing it that I never even thought about stuff like that, but I've seen it in people putting on denim or jackets, and I've seen that technique with different, you know, art form where they stitch on it, and I never even thought about it, but it is interesting to see it, and I've been loving these books. And so the library has really been such a great thing for me to explore this year, and I'm so glad that I'm so in tune with the library right now. And one of the reasons is too because I am able to read some really great books and decide whether or not I want to own it. And this is one of those examples where this is my card if you saw a previous video that I made, and this is my third library read for the year, and it is the Reformatory. This is Tananarive do. Sorry. I never heard of this book because I don't know why I haven't heard about this book. But then last year, I remember just at the end of the year, the beginning of this year, of seeing videos of people and their top 10, and this was popping up on a lot of people's video. And I was like, oh, you know what? I want to pick this up, but yes, utilize the library. And I am so glad I did that, because let me tell you, this book is so amazing. It is so intense. It is so heartbreaking at times. It is such a great survival story. It is also a great creative writing. It has all the emotion that you can think of. And it also had another twist to when we think about lost soul that were wrongfully taken from people. And in this case, we following Robert, a young 12-year-old boy, and his sister Gloria, that is 16. And there are two kids who are in circumstances that are beyond their control. Their mother passed away from cancer, and their father is on the run because he was that strong a black man in a racially charged community during the Jim Crow era in Florida. And he was basically trying to help his community and trying to do different things. However, that was not acceptable. So they come up with this bogus and very horrific crime that they accused him of. And that would have led to being a lynch. So he had to leave, but leaving his children. And his children became a pawn in the game. So it escalated at some point where the young girl is smitten by the son of the most powerful man in the community. And the 12-year-old is defending his sister. And while doing that, kick said son, and his father, the powerful man, saw and decided to punish the 12-year-old boy by sending him through the court system bogus he has power to the reformatory. The reformatory is basically hell. And while he's there, this is where the story becomes creative. You're not only having to survive the ones that are living, you also are seeing image of those that had passed, those who had been killed at the reformatory. And you're not sure what are you seeing, but you know it is not real because no one else is seeing it. But then your gift become also your curse, because of the man who runs the facility wanted to catch the soul. And if you don't catch the soul, you get hurt, or those boys that you connect with, becomes good friends with, get hurt. This is where the story goes. While your sister is out trying everything to free you. In a story of survival, it's a story with, it's such an intense story. You don't know how it's going to end. You don't know how they're going to get out of the situation that they're in. You are literally holding your breath until the very end because you want them to survive. You want them to make it through the hell that they experience. I was not a fan really of ghost story, of horror in a sense, because I get creeped out easily and I want to be able to sleep at night. But because of how this story is written, it is just making me, I look at it as lost soul, not meaning that they're evil, but these are lost soul that have not gone on to the other side. They have not completed the quest of whatever assignment that they should have. And that's how I look at it. I looked at Blue character in this as someone who had to do what he had to do in order to never let what happened to him happen again. And you see that in this. But there's so many things that the author did that you had to look at it as the ghost can't always be nice. The ghost can't always be the friendliest, because their time was cut short, you know. So there's different feelings that ghosts gonna have in this, and I like that in this. I like the adventure in certain ways of him trying to escape. I like the point of the daughter, the sister, and her commitment to her brother, of being the only one left to protect her brother, of trying to not have him in a place that would completely change who he is, even though if you read the story, he will forever be a changed little boy. And I thought this was just so interesting and different. And when you think of racially charged storylines, oftentimes they just seem the same over and over. But this, because of the ghost element, the hands that they call them elements in this, it just gave it a fresh new take on some tragic stories. And this is not based on a true story, but the reformatory is based on other system that was set up like this in the South, that had people, not even the South, I believe is other countries too, that had it, where these boys were brutally killed and sometimes just buried without their family ever knowing. And there's stories of that, and she took that inspiration for this. She also had a family member that also passed in a situation, like in a setup like this way back, and she's also used her father's background, law background in this. So there's moments in this where I feel like she took pieces but make it interesting with the ghost element, which works. Absolutely works for this. This is so good. This is so good. And I was like, what am I rating it? Because there's just nothing I can find fault. And the thing is, I will read it again only because I just feel like there's so many things that if I read it again, I might have missed, that I would get again, that I would, get a new visual of it in this. And so, this absolutely is to me, this is definitely a 5-star book. No ifs and buts about it. And it's a book I want to own. And I'm so glad I did the library take first, because this is something that when I buy this, I can feel like, yes. It was a book that needed to be owned. It's a book that I would definitely recommend. I think a lot of people will find this book very interesting. It is, again, a very intense storyline. It is very intense. So I think for some people, for me, it took a little longer to read because there's moments where I want to take a break because of how intense the story got at some point. There's sadness in this and grief in this, and so there's moments where I'm like, yeah, oh, that, you know, when you think of Red in this, that whole setup of that boy was just awful. And you know, just even think of when the Robert is in this and he's seeing some of the victims and they're like walking around with things on them, you know, a weapon that was used to end their life is like sticking out of them, that kind of deal. So it was a little intense at times, but it's such a good read and it's so worth it. Absolutely a memorable story, no ifs and buts about it, and it's a book that's going to be my collection. I can't wait to put my hands on this, a copy of this, and have it on my shelf. So yeah, so I get to check the box on this, and also, you know, continue some quilting. So I'm definitely going to do some more quilting style. I want to see if I can do some denim quilting style something. So we'll see what else trigger me and what creative mood I'm in, because I am definitely loving this quilting mental state I'm in. So all right guys, so let me know if you think, you know, what you thought about the book sleeve. You know, I made a bookish theme kind of situation, and the pattern and stuff. So let me know, and I will see you guys in the next one. And yeah, so thanks for watching guys, and see you in the next one. Bye.